Hello, this is PG. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Let Bions Be Bygones on PC. Let Bions Be Bygones is a point-and-click detective game developed by Bohemian Pulp. The game is set in a futuristic neon world with a surreal film noir style. Okay, gameplay. Well, it's a point-and-click game like many games from yesteryear, such as Broken Sword and Blade Runner. The majority of the game involves conversations as you try to solve the case that you're currently working on. But it's not as clear as it sounds. The game adopts a surreal style with inanimate objects having their own voices, characters with detailed and varied personalities, and gritty locations full of bizarre and surreal moments.
I woke in pain to a breathtaking view. Across from my desk sat the smoothest, longest, most scantily clad pair of legs I'd ever dreamed of, wearing a dress fashioned from a ridiculously luminous, scarlet as sin, out of this world material, mind-numbingly beautiful.
One thing I found refreshing was the game's focus on narrative as opposed to tedious, mind-numbing puzzles. It's more about narrative choices, and what you choose will have an impact on the other characters and how the story unfolds. You have an inventory screen of sorts which tracks your progress in a variety of tasks and sub-quests. As well, you've also got a blank page for you to literally make your own notes on. So it's not really that complex a game. In many ways, it's like an interactive book with nice pictures to go with it. The story I found to be quite interesting once it got going. Maybe not all the characters were great, but on the whole, it's not the sort of game where you're going to skip dialogue. You know, the conversations, they're in depth, they're unusual, they're unpredictable, and there's definitely a nod and a wink here to Disco Elysium as a form of inspiration.
Looked like I was gonna die in a hall of cliches. This wasn't the first time Buzz had tried to collect. He wasn't the brightest crayon in the box.
Visually, beautiful game, lovely pixel art graphics set within this sort of neon futuristic cesspit of a game world. Gritty, beautiful, weird, very fresh as well, despite feeling familiar at the same time, which is kind of an interesting result. In terms of sound, the voice actor for the lead character reminded me very much of Max Payne's voice actor, who is sadly no longer with us. The inner monologue frames the story from his perspective, but the other characters also do a really good job, and they're remarkably varied and bloody weird, by the way. And also, the entire game is voice acted, which quite frankly is a godsend. Like, you can reread what was said, but it's great to see the devs put all that effort into voice acting, because it fleshes out the story and the atmosphere as well. Verdict: Let Bions Be Bygones is a point-and-click game with an emphasis on story, character and plot progression. It maybe will not appease puzzle-solving fans, but with its interesting characters and gorgeous game world, it feels like you're in your own detective graphic novel. The story works, the characters are rich, and it reminded me in some ways of games like Blade Runner, Disco Elysium and old school film noir movies. It was a really nice change of pace for me, and I very much enjoyed it. On the whole, I think it is well worth looking into. Obviously, if you're looking for action, this is not the game for you, but if you like a good story, good characters, and you fancy yourself as a bit of a neo-noir detective, give this one a go. Scoring: I'd give Let Bions Be Bygones, I'd give it 8 out of 10, which is more than I thought I would, but it actually grew on me quite considerably. And it's really nicely done, and it's quite relaxing as well, because you don't really have to do much other than point and click. Okay, that's the review. This is PG signing off. Cheers.